All right, so we have an exciting episode this time, okay? And it's because I asked Biden. Of course, I communicated telepathically as usual through trees. But I asked Scorpio if we could open up about Hunter, okay? Because this is a real thing. And the reason why I waited to do this is because and I can internally feel this. And if you guys can't, which is directly, resulted because of Trump's cult thing that's going down, right? Okay. Which is a two of cups actually to the presidency. That's weird. Thought Trump was supposed to again, this is Watergate on steroids. Okay? Apparently I make Watergate happy. It's a direct result from Aries and Aquarius. Again, it's Ukraine and Argentina. These are both A to U, A to U. So how many letters are in between there is basically the rest of the world. Okay? I can tell you just intuitively, without even looking at the cards. Okay, which again will mirror back the evidence of me being right. Biden doesn't have anything to do with the separate natures in morale and integrity that Hunter has obviously negatively affected, okay? Because the morale of the family is not protected, okay? And why? Because, because we got a hold of Hunter's laptop. We know it's on there. Now, it's a direct hit to Mexico. But more than that, that's over there by Portugal and Ukraine. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Every time. And now we have two separate threes. That's a 33 vertebrae, which is equal to your 33 Raptor engine. Yeah. Okay, so now you have Gemini. You have Gemini, Virgo. That's who this is. But the Magician card can be anyone. If you have Libra or Gemini or Virgo in your chart, okay, so that card right there, that is the Sword of Truth. Okay, so that's Aquarius. I'll tell you that right now. Aquarius is like the sword of truth. And then you have the Pentacle, which is literally Capricorn energy. That's the foundation. That's also currency and conductive. Okay, and then you have the Styx. That's literally it's fire, which is weird that it would be put with trees. Do you ever wonder why a tree burns on the inside when there is okay, we're gonna talk about this. Okay, this is gonna hit home tree too, as usual with Melinda Gates, like every single fucking time. I'm sure if she's ever even looked at anything ever from me, she probably goes, "How did she know that?" I have ascendant in Capricorn. Ascendant, which means that I'm your ascendant ancestry. I will be what is next. Okay? And that means that, so this is what's happening, okay? Libra and Taurus, every lifetime, get 2 extra seconds. We get 2 extra seconds in time. Okay? 2,000 years. Okay? We have not gotten that since Roman times. Aries and Libra, because of you guys drinking from the cup. Offering the cup to Pisces, which is equal to cannibalism, creating a iso decay that has a shelf life. Okay, that's the bum on your couch, dude. Okay, that's ants in your house. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you also right now, if there is bugs, if God sent locusts down in the wake of you not listening, what do you think cockroaches are here for? They literally can smell nuclear fusion. Literally. Smells like war, guys. Smells like war, boys. In chemistry, I told you. This is why I say it's not just the thought process that needs to be, because when I had to go do all this therapy and all this schooling, and I had to work my program, which is exactly what I'm going to make the American people do, And I'm going to, instead of making police officers, I'm going to make security guards. There's a difference. Okay? And then you put your officers with your CPS unit. Okay? Okay? Got it? Got it? Get that back in its upright. This should have been expected. Okay? And again, this is all the way to France. Okay, he wants to fix this. So if you do a natural pull-up system, so if you take your probability math and your statistics versus your reality, those are three components that are going to affect your prediction time. Always, forever, okay? So if you're trying to predict when to go to space, I'm going to tell you right now that the magnets are stronger when the full moon is out. Always, 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 always. So if the waning moon, if we get our period, okay, so you're living in the same house with a bunch of women, okay, imagine this is Earth. We're all in the same boat, same house, and everybody's periods are being affected differently, like the waning and waxing of the ocean and the moon and how it cycles. So I'm going to tell you now that if the moon takes 2 days to cycle Earth, this is a really hard lesson for you guys, and I'm sorry that you guys had to learn it billions of years later. Billions, which is really what makes me, upset about this entire equation, is the intentional confusion. This was intentionally confused. Yeah, I feel a deep connection with the Son of Cups. I'm going to tell you right now, Matt Mazzotti did not molest his son. Moon in Scorpio. So if he's a Leo and Moon, so when I looked it up the first time, he had Cancer in Moon. And then when I used this other app called The Pattern, which clearly picks up on the actuality of how often the planets actually rotate around the Earth and Sun, okay, is I'm going to tell you confidently, too, that, again, me and Matt were immediately suspicious of his dad and his brother. Immediately. And, we'll go back to that day. Okay, watch. We'll go back to that day, Matt, because we have the line of telepathy. I literally, that's how I know who the real bad guy is, first off. If Scorpio is supposed to go towards Libra, okay, which was even Libra and Moon, okay, she was, the whole thing here, okay, is that Libra is supposed to go towards Scorpio, no matter what. That means all the way to Biden, Camellia, okay? Yeah, please forgive me's in reverse, sorry, not sorry. Again, the more you take, the less you have. And if you have to destroy somebody else to get wherever you're going successfully, that's going to result in a negative probability. That is going to result in a -0 in the end, no matter what, because of math. This is what you guys don't get. Karma math is real. So if you have to take from the end of the equation and fit it into the front in order to make a barcode or something else, okay? It's equivalent to taking a piece of fabric and wrapping it back around and trying to sew it in place, okay? It's equivalent to understanding that you need a thread and a needle in order to move that one component. And you guys just do it simply, because of the mind over matter trick. Okay. Yeah, now Camellia wants to be forgiven. Now Putin wants to be forgiven. Now Libra wants to be forgiven. Well, because their soul imprints, their soul essence. Libra is not the pedo here. If you guys think that it is, it's not. Okay, I can tell you that. Even with my dad having Libra and Venus, Aquarius and Moon. Again, this goes all the way to Jeffrey Epstein, who is an Aquarius, apparently, who has a fragile heart, who's still alive, by the way. Yeah, with a renewed adventure. Yeah, he's not dead. He's not dead. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. I'm just kind of curious if anybody can anymore. Like if it's just like it's just clearly impossible chemistry now. Past life soulmate, once the magnet has been broken at the weakest part, which is 4, which is Cancer, and it's the heart, it's the center of Earth. No way. So that means that there is a sun on the inside of Earth. Okay, and that's what's rotating. And that also means that Taurus is pregnant on the outside of their uterus. Outside of their uterus, outside of their uterus, outside of their uterus, Cancer is, specifically. It's about timing. I don't know, but I'm, like, so there's this weird thing, like when I was pregnant with my other kids, there's definitely a difference between girls and boys being pregnant, okay? When I was pregnant with Kai, I didn't sleep with Keith at night because he worked nights. So the hormonal process was never exchanged. That's why there was no white flag between us. Okay? As my divine masculine, had he slept with me while I was pregnant with Kai, it would have healed him. Because of the hormones that are released. Because we all start out as women. That means we die as women too. Which also tells me that 2 different strands of DNA, male and female, has to be created. You cannot just have an embryo that starts out as a girl and then becomes a boy. That's a transgender. That's a transgender genealogy, if you ask me personally. DNA has 2 different genetic gendered strands of their own components, which tells me that either A, if women start out as female, that the male would have, like we would have had to been the codependent chemistry to become the male. Okay, opportunity. Or, because again, if the Bible, everything else says that a man made this, but they can't get pregnant and hold a baby, they would have had to do it on the outside. Which is exactly what happens. And we've done it before, actually. We've had men carry babies in there, like outside of their stomach lining, in between their uterus, in between their intestines. So it's one or the other. So either we fucked up DNA by having a man be pregnant, or we fucked up DNA by, understanding that if Adam and Eve was a real thing and, the snake and all the other garbage, that, again, is talking about one button. One apple, one button, one thing that was touched that was not supposed to be touched. Okay, which is DNA, which God already said don't do that. And then you guys did it for fucking over 1,000 years with animals and people, which tells me the only reason why you guys would do that is if we had been obliterated. I'm talking like, because all that war and shit, it literally, there was nothing left. So somebody here had to recreate their ancestry through animal DNA just to keep their genetic molecules alive from the past. Okay, mistakes. And that's really sad in my eyes, actually. That's really sad because, again, Libra was affected the most out of this ISO decay with zombie shelf life because, again, Libra's not junk DNA. Libra is a divine. And unfortunately, Libra's they're just not old enough yet. It's like babies taking care of babies. Babies taking care of babies. So I'm going to tell you, that's how I know you guys time traveled and ended up in a gestational or a infancy-like state. Okay, and which caused the Big Bang Theory for one of the twins that either killed each other, which obviously happened with Cain and Abel. That happened either in gestational or right at birth. You understand that, right? Which means that that's a time travel that went wrong. That shouldn't even be in a biblical context that you would be able to read. Because if it happened that long ago, okay, and then the Bible's been rewritten about 1,200 billion times, which I'm working on myself. Exactly. It's because whoever decided what needs to be in there and what doesn't, okay, you're always on my mind, that the signs and synchronicities that lead you to your numbers of a number 8. So if 8 engines were destroyed out of that whatever process of 1, bing, bang, bong, right? Because there's 2 separate engines that 2 separate igniter points, basically. Okay? And so because again, I want to look at how many parts are broke total, the timing of how they, bing, bang, bonged. And then I also look at, wasn't obviously, but what was affected and why. Okay, so if military stuff was destroyed and whatever you were, I got a phone call. My dad's calling. I'll have to do another video.